Ray tracing is a next-level lighting technology that makes games look incredibly realistic. It simulates how light works in real life, bouncing off surfaces, creating shadows, and adding stunning reflections. It's been a game-changer on PCs and consoles, but on mobile, still pretty rare. That said, some mobile games are starting to use ray tracing, and the results are seriously impressive. So, in this video, I'm counting down the top 11 games that support or use ray tracing on mobile. Oh, and there are a few games that might not officially use ray tracing, but their visuals are so good they look like they do. All right, let's get started. All right, starting off at number 11 is, well, it's not exactly a full game. It's more like a short tech demo, but it's still worth mentioning because it appears to use ray tracing, or at least something close to it, for its lighting and shadows. This demo is called Principles, and it's built on Unreal Engine 5. It was developed by Rogueside. When you play it, the lighting is so good, it feels like you're playing with RTX on. Okay, maybe not PC level, but for mobile, it's pretty impressive. Players have loved the stunning visuals and immersive sound design, but yeah, there's a catch. It's super short, and the gameplay is pretty limited. Some people even call it a walking simulator. Still, it's a cool glimpse of what's possible, and maybe in the future we'll get a full release. At number 10, we've got Bright Memory Mobile. This game is a mix of first-person shooter and action, and it's actually one of the pioneers of ray tracing on mobile. Now, there's also a newer version called Bright Memory Infinite, but I couldn't confirm if it uses ray tracing. That said, the graphics are definitely a step up from the original. In the game, you play as Shelia in a futuristic world full of supernatural enemies. The original version keeps the same vibe, but adds more diverse environments, extra combat mechanics, and a deeper story. Arena Breakout surprisingly uses ray tracing. Thanks to a collab between Tencent Games and MediaTek's Dimensity 9300, the game runs at a smooth 60 FPS with ray-traced lighting. The Dimensity 9312 core GPU boosts hardware ray tracing performance by 46% compared to the last gen. Pretty impressive for mobile gaming. Now, it's not super advanced ray tracing, but it's still a cool glimpse into the future of mobile graphics. If you haven't heard of it, Arena Breakout is a mix of first-person shooter action and extraction-style gameplay. Your goal? Survive, loot, and escape with valuable items. It's intense, strategic, and worth checking out.
At number 9 is Diablo Immortal. I usually don't like to mention games with pay-to-win mechanics, gacha, or any form of gambling, especially this one. It's so pay-to-win that it's banned in some places. If you just want free fun, this isn't worth it. But this video is about ray tracing, and Diablo Immortal shows that mobile games can use this tech well. Even with a top-down view, it supports ray tracing on devices like the S24. The reflections in water are amazing to see. It's a shame the game isn't great, but it's cool to see ray tracing on mobile.
Next up is War Thunder Edge. This game is bringing ray tracing to mobile, specifically on the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 platform. Gaijin, the developers, worked hard to add ray-traced smooth shadows, realistic penumbras, translucency, and self-shadowing, and you can see the difference in this video when ray tracing is on and off. What's crazy is this isn't even a brand new game. It came out 2 years ago. So if a 2-year-old game can support ray tracing, the latest mobile games should also. As for the gameplay, it's a military vehicle PvP MMO combat game. Tanks, planes, ships, you name it. If you're into military action and want to see ray tracing in action, this is your game. Just keep in mind, you'll need a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 or higher to run it. Coming up next is Grid Legends. Now, I couldn't confirm if this game actually uses ray tracing, but just look at the gameplay, it looks like a PC game. The reflections on the water are so clean, and honestly, the devs were cooking something here. It feels like an RTX level game, even if it's not officially confirmed. But yeah, to experience this level of graphics, you'll need the right phone. The minimum requirement is a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, and devices with 8 GB of RAM or more can download HD vehicle textures. If you want those HD textures, you'll need 18 GB of free space. As for the gameplay, it's arcade racing with some simulation elements. You get diverse racing disciplines, tons of tracks, and overall it's a visually stunning experience. If you're into car games, this one is definitely worth buying, and here is a list of some phones that can run this game smoothly. Next up, Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 4 Remake, and Assassin's Creed Mirage. These AAA games are now playable on mobile, but they only run on iPhone 15 Pro or newer models. Why? Apple's A17 Pro chip supports hardware-based ray tracing, which brings realistic lighting, shadows, and reflections to these titles. It's cool to see AAA games embrace mobile ray tracing, but let's be real. If you're buying a $1,000 plus iPhone just to play these, you might as well get a gaming PC. Next is Justice Mobile. Okay, it was stated that NetEase is bringing the martial arts MMORPG Justice Mobile to global markets back in 2024. The game will be published as Sword of Justice and is expected to begin its first tests in Southeast Asia. And I think it is already released in some regions. Now, let's talk ray tracing. This game uses it, and it's all thanks to the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset, which supports real-time hardware-accelerated ray tracing. This is actual footage of this game. Look at the cattle on the right side of the screen, you'll see reflections. On the left side with ray tracing off, no reflections, just flat. Some amazing stuff, right? As for the game itself, it's classic MMORPG vibes with a wuxia twist. Open-world exploration, martial arts combat, and AI-driven NPCs that react dynamically to your choices. Think enemies that adapt and stories that change based on what you do. Finally, at number 1, Honor of Kings World, and this is the first time I've heard about ray tracing through this game. Tencent Games and Teamy Studio Group's open-world action RPG Honor of Kings World is set to release in 2025. It even made a surprise appearance at Apple's iPhone 16 reveal. The game will have an ultra graphics mode optimized for the iPhone 16, offering higher resolution, advanced lighting effects, global illumination, and expanded viewing distance. Now, I'm not sure if it'll run on the iPhone 15 Pro, but it seems like the ultra graphics mode is exclusive to the iPhone 16. From the gameplay footage shown, it looks like the game targets 30 FPS, but the performance isn't stable. Frame rates dropped significantly in the clip. If it's already struggling to hit 30 FPS on the iPhone 16, optimizing it for other phones will be a huge challenge. Honestly, if they manage to pull it off, your phone might either run the game or just... So that's it for this video. Great to see ray tracing coming to mobile, but personally, I think developers should focus more on gameplay than just graphics. That said, graphics should at least be decent enough to enjoy in 2025. Oh, and quick update, I was thinking about changing my channel name, but when I asked you guys, the most voted option was, I don't care, so yeah, I'm changing it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, check out one of these other videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care.